Today I have my oil pastel line drawing of my bugger insect, and this line drawing basically just has all my shapes, right? My lines and shapes. And I also have my oil pastel exploration here just to remind myself of the different ways I can use my oil pastel, but also I can use this paper as a way to clean off some of my lighter colors if I need to. So remember, if you pick up a lighter color, or really any color, and it has a little bit of other colors of oil pastel on it, before you use it, just take the edge of it, scribble a little bit until the colors come off. Okay, then you're ready to use it. So that being said, let's get started. I'm going to take a look at my bug photo, and I'm going to first notice if there's one color that really stands out. If there's one color of my bugger insect that I see the most. To me, it's like this weird brownish orange color. So I'm just gonna take a look at my oil pastels and I'm gonna find that color. Remember, if you need to peel your oil pastel a little bit, that's fine, take some time to do that. Once you see the color there, even if it's not perfect, even if your color doesn't perfectly match, that's okay, because we are going to be blending our colors. So I'm just starting off and adding what I see. Remember, since we're drawing from observation, we're drawing what we see, not what we think we see. So even if you think that your butterfly is maybe the color blue or a different color, really take a close look and notice if there are other colors sneaking around hiding in there, because there might be. Nature isn't just one color usually. It's usually a bunch of different colors combined. Okay, so now I need to get to the wings. I finished my body here. I used my skewer when I was noticing that little, some line textures that I wanted to kind of carve into after I layered some color on top. So I also was focusing on adding my colors and then taking a look back at my photograph and noticing if I missed anything. So it's really important to pay attention to is the white highlights, especially if your bug looks shiny. These white areas are what's really going to help make it look super shiny. So I'm happy with this for now. I know I see some areas that I can improve, but for now I want to move on to the wings, because to me the wings are the most challenging part because they're transparent. Transparent means you can see through them. Remembering that if I need to get a really, really thin line, I'm going to find an area on my paper and almost like sharpen my oil pastel by rubbing it back and forth until I get a nice pointy little tip. Okay, so the wings were really challenging for me. So what I did was I was really taking a close look at all of the different lines that I saw. I really, really wanted to just kind of do it from my memory. But I knew that if I really focused and concentrated and took a look and took it part by part like I've been doing, that is how I felt that I was successful with making my wings. So before I'm actually going into it, I was taking a look at what direction my lines were. Were they diagonal? Were they horizontal, side to side, up and down? Are my lines zigzag? Are they wavy? Are they straight? Take a look and think in your mind before you actually go ahead and draw it. This will help you be more successful when you go ahead and add it onto your paper. First you observe and then you draw. There were some mistakes that happened along the way, but as we're learning, when we're working with oil pastels, there are many opportunities to fix our mistakes by coloring over it or even turning our mistakes into something else. So again, I was really taking a close look at the darker lines, which are mostly towards the top of the wings. And then I was taking a closer look at the really, really fragile thin lines towards the bottom of the wings. You'll see me even start to blend in other colors as I move along. With my thinner lines, you even might start to see me take my skewer or toothpick and push the oil pastel in the really thin areas to draw. So it's like I'm getting some oil pastel on the very tip of my skewer and then using that oil pastel on the skewer to add my really thin lines. That's another way you can do it. Or even just pushing your oil pastel with that thin skewer or toothpick. You can also carve into, do that sgraffito technique, right? Remember we learned that last time? Where you layer two colors and carve into it with your skewer or toothpick. That's also an option. But the skewer is really helpful for getting into those teeny tiny areas. So what techniques have I used so far? Have you identified any techniques that I used in this video? We just talked about using the sgraffito technique. Where on my insect did I use the blending technique? Or the layering technique? Or the thin or thick line technique? These are all different ways to use my oil pastel that might be helpful for you as well. As you're drawing, think about how you can use your different oil pastel techniques to show the different parts of your bug or insect. Okay, so when you begin your oil pastel bug or insect drawing, make sure the first thing you do is take a real close look at all the different colors you see. Like we did when we were drawing just our contour lines. Really take a close look and notice the very simple colors you see, and then start to add it in one area of your paper. Once you're done with that section, you move on to the next section, and you keep adding onto your bug until you have all of the colors that you want and need on your bug. We want to make sure we're pressing hard with our oil pastel so it's nice and creamy when we're drawing. If you make a mistake, you can try to draw over it with your next color, okay? Use your skewer so that you can carve and get different details into your bug if you need to.